Hello everyone and welcome to the program. This is Business Incorporated, live to you from Channels International headquarters in Lagos, Nigeria. I am Boston Amofaye. On the program today, 6 months after assuming office as the Kenyan Central Bank Governor, Patrick Njoroge has helped to steady a depreciating shilling and drawn public appreciation for his austere lifestyle and rejection of corruption. Angola faces shortage of US dollars as oil revenue drops and foreign banks cut supply of the greenback to local banks. And in Europe, Italy's industrial production rises 0.5% more than expected in October, posting a gain in all sectors but one. Now let's start with our story as for the next 30 minutes of the show. Italy's industrial production up more than expected in the month of October, posting gain in all sectors but one, giving a boost to the government's claims that the economy is picking up after its longest post-war recession. The country, formerly known as the second man of Europe, now the National Institute of Statistics says industrial output in the Eurozone's third largest economy increased 0.5% in the month in seasonally adjusted terms. The gain by Italy was led by 1.6% monthly climb in consumer goods, especially durable ones. Intermediate goods added 0.9% and output of investment goods increased 0.6%. The production of energy, however, slipped 0.75% over the period. The government of the Italian Premier Matteo Renzi is sticking to his economic growth target of 0.9% for 2015 after 3 consecutive years of contraction. Although last week, Mr. Renzi let it slip at a news conference that 2015 gross domestic product may rise 0.8%. Despite that story, positive industrial output from Italy is being bloodletting Friday for stock markets across Europe. This is where we stand at the moment. The FTSE 100, the benchmarking index for the London Stock Exchange, 1.10% in the red. The German market, 1.65% in the red. The CAC 40, the benchmark index for the French market, 1.3%, also in the red. Going south, the Italian market, the FTSE MIB, 1.28%. The Spanish market, the IBEX 35, 0.69% as we speak. And the brother stock 600, the basket of 600 most capitalized stocks for Europe, also negative, 1.43%. No thanks to last Friday's OPEC decision and the melting of the miners, Anglo-American, Glencore, and today BHP Billiton with its dam damage and the consequences from Brazil. It's been a tough business week, and for the markets, let's bring the week to a close. We're talking now to Javier Aguirre, financial correspondent for DWTV, for Channels Television at the Frankfurt Stock Exchange. Javier, it's good to see you this Friday. It's been a topsy-turvy week since the OPEC's decision to leave its production ceiling uncapped. Give us an assessment of how the stock market has been reacting to this for the week from Germany and from Europe.
The stock markets react to oil prices. Usually we see positive reactions when the oil prices are lower, but this is a critical point where the barrel has dropped below $40 and it is not funny anymore, not even considering that there are many companies that might profit from lower oil prices. It has consequences on big energy companies. It has consequences, of course, on the oil industry, which is critical for the economies of many countries. So the stock markets are having a rough time trying to deal with that, and that is why we are seeing a week that will possibly be one of the worst performing. The DAX, as you just mentioned, now is dropping almost close to 2%, and that is definitely not the year-end rally that we are used to. So the oil price is definitely causing a lot of uncertainty among investors, especially considering that the oil companies are the biggest companies in the world, and of course they are not liking the news.
Let's expand the commodities conversations a bit. Javier, Anglo-American Platinum, Glencore, and now BHP Billiton today, dam damage crisis in Brazil. How is this resources, materials, negative story being considered by heavy industrial concerns in Germany that uses copper, aluminum, and some of this iron ore to make cars and other solid goods that come out of Europe.
Well, of course, this is all indirectly related as usual, and we have seen some big hits to many of the most important companies that are related to commodities here in Germany. For example, ThyssenKrupp was one of the biggest losers of the trading session just a few days ago, and it is still getting hit by this phenomenon. But perhaps most importantly, we have to consider that when we are seeing those sell-offs in the commodities, it means that there are more US dollars circulating, and that lowers the price of the US dollar. That has a consequence on the price of the euro. The euro is going up, and that is a big problem for many of the companies, many of the core companies of the German economy and of the Eurozone's economy, because they are exporting companies, and the prices of their products, of course, are in euros. So if the prices of their products go up, it means that it is more expensive for foreign customers to buy them, and that is why we are seeing such a hit to the different companies here in Europe. That is why many of the companies that have been performing very well throughout the year are now dropping, because they are having their prices increased and therefore will have an impact on sales. So as you can see, this is all correlated, and the fact that commodities are dropping will ultimately lead to losses in the stock markets here in Europe as well.
So considering the barrage of negative commodities and corporate news this week, give us a sense of next week trading. Javier, any silver lining starting from Monday?
Well, that will definitely depend on which country and region you are looking to. Of course, next week is one of the latest and the last weeks of the year, so we will have some corporate results of many different companies, and we will see how all of these aspects have played out in the final results for the companies. But perhaps the most important day will be December the 16th, when we know that the Federal Reserve is due to decide on that interest rate hike. Remember that many are counting on that interest rate hike to happen. Now, this will possibly have negative consequences in the stock markets in the United States. It will also have negative consequences for many of the emerging countries, even though investors are widely prepared for it. But that might have a positive consequence here in the Eurozone because of what I just mentioned earlier. If the US dollar goes up after that interest rate hike, well, that means that the euro is going to drop, and that will possibly have a good impact on many of the exporting countries here in the Eurozone. So investors here in Europe, at least, are definitely looking forward to next week. They are hoping for that year-end rally to finally continue, and this might be the Fed's Christmas gift to the European stock markets. Back over to you.
Oh, Javier. Okay, let's enjoy our weekend. Let's grab some popcorn on Monday, take a ringside seat, get a cup of coffee, and watch Janet Yellen in the ring. See you on Monday. Javier Agued and the rest of the team from Frankfurt Stock Exchange, DWTV for Channels Television. Okay, talking about eating burger made entirely of green. That'll be later on the program. Not just meat you get in your burger, but the burger business is changing. Just stick around. We will just have a burger made entirely of vegetables. Think about it. We'll be back.